If you've been scrolling through endless listings, watching tutorial videos, and still feel stuck wondering which plasma cutter actually lives up to the hype, this review is here to cut through the noise. I know the feeling. You're standing in the workshop, a metal sheet waiting to be shaped, and you have to decide whether to drop a few $100s on a machine that promises industrial-grade results or keep using a DIY torch that leaves ragged edges. The decision feels bigger than just the price tag because the wrong choice can waste time, material, and even put safety at risk. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The LGK 100 from Okanan lands in a crowded segment of portable plasma cutters, but it tries to set itself apart with a built-in air pump and dual-voltage flexibility. Let's break down why those claims matter when you actually plug the thing into a shop floor, and where the trade-offs show up after you've unboxed it. First off, the built-in air pump is the most visible differentiator. Most entry-level cutters require you to buy a separate compressor, which not only adds cost but also introduces another piece of equipment to haul around. With the LGK 100, the pump sits right behind the control panel and is powered from the same line as the cutter. In practice, this means you can set the machine up on a small workbench, connect it to a standard 220V outlet, and be ready to cut within minutes. I tested it on a 12mm stainless steel pipe, and the pump maintained a steady flow without the hiccups you sometimes hear when a cheap external compressor struggles to keep up. The convenience factor is huge for hobbyists who don't have a permanent shop or for field technicians who need to move between job sites. That brings us to the dual voltage compatibility. The unit accepts both 220V and 380V inputs, which is a rare feature for machines in this price range. If you're in a region where 380V is the standard three-phase supply, you can tap straight into that without needing a step-down transformer. Conversely, in most North American homes, you'll be on a 220V circuit, and the cutter will still deliver its full rating. The real benefit shows up when you consider power stability. I ran the cutter on a slightly fluctuating 210V line, something that happens when you're sharing a circuit with other heavy tools, and the output stayed consistent, thanks to the IGBT power stage that the manufacturer markets as advanced technology. The cut quality didn't wobble, and the arc stayed tight even at lower voltage, which is reassuring if you're not sure your wiring will always be perfect. Versatility is another claim that the LGK 100 tries to back up. The machine can handle mild steel, stainless, aluminum, and even copper with the right consumables. In a typical weekend project I did fabricating a small bracket out of 6mm aluminum, the cutter performed as advertised. The key here is the precise arc control. Because the unit uses IGBT transistors rather than older SCR technology, the startup voltage is lower, which reduces the initial spatter and gives you a cleaner entry point. The result was a cut edge that required only a light touch of a deburring tool, saving a few minutes that would otherwise add up over multiple pieces. Now, no machine is perfect, and the LGK 100 has a few practical downsides you'll notice once you start using it regularly. The most obvious is the weight. With the built-in pump, the chassis tips the scales at around 18 kilograms, roughly 40 pounds. It's still portable enough to carry up a flight of stairs, but you won't be tossing it around like a handheld angle grinder. For a permanent shop setup that already has a dedicated bench, that's no problem, but if you're looking for a truly lightweight Tachyon Figo cutter, you'll feel that extra bulk. Another point to consider is the cooling system. The LGK 100 relies on a fan-cooled heatsink rather than water cooling, which keeps the unit simple and maintenance-free, but it does mean you'll hear a constant whir when the machine is on. In a quiet home garage this hum can be noticeable, though it never rises to a level that interferes with conversation. Who should actually consider buying this cutter? If you're a small business owner who needs a reliable workhorse for cutting mild steel frames, stainless handrails, or aluminum panels, the LGK 100 checks a lot of boxes. Its built-in pump removes the hassle of sourcing a separate compressor, and the dual voltage support means you won't be locked out of a job just because the site supplies 380V. The precision of the IGBT driver also makes it friendly for users who want cleaner cuts without spending extra time on post-processing. Similarly, hobbyists who already have a decent workshop bench and want a machine that can grow with them, starting with simple sheet metal and later moving up to thicker plates, will find the versatility appealing. On the other hand, there are buyers who might want to skip this model. If your primary material is thin sheet metal under 2 mm, a cheaper